All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever kicked off your workday, opened up Microsoft Teams, and poof, your calendar is just gone? If that sounds familiar, then you're in the right place. We're about to solve one of the most common and, let's be honest, one of the most frustrating glitches in Teams.
You see this message right here? Teams unable to access your calendar. It looks so simple, but wow, it can bring your entire day to a screeching halt. All of a sudden, you can't schedule anything. You can't join your calls. Your whole workflow is just stuck.
Yeah, I thought so. You are definitely not the only one dealing with this, believe me. But the good news is, there's a way out. We're going to cut right through the technical jargon and give you a super clear step-by-step guide to get that calendar back where it belongs.
So first, let's just appreciate how big of a deal this is. This isn't some rare, obscure bug. Nope. The disappearing calendar is a super common problem that hits people on Windows, on Mac, it doesn't matter. And it strikes right at the heart of what Teams is for, getting people together for meetings.
And that really gets to the core of it, right? The calendar in Teams isn't just some side feature. For most teams, it's the central nervous system for collaboration. When that goes down, everything else starts to fall apart.
Okay, so before we start fixing things, we've got to understand why this is even happening. If you know the why, you can pick the right how. So let's pull back the curtain on the main reasons this happens. It really boils down to three main culprits. First up, you've got permissions issues. This is basically Teams not having the right password to get to your calendar. Then there are account sync errors, just a simple miscommunication. And finally, you get these funky upgrade and compatibility glitches, which can pop up, especially if you're using the newer versions of Teams.
Let's dig into that first one, because it's the most common technical reason. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Your calendar lives in a locked room called Exchange Online. Teams needs a very specific key to open that door. A permissions issue just means Teams lost its key. The door's locked, and it can't get in. Simple as that.
All right, now for the part you've been waiting for. We know what the problem is, so let's open up our troubleshooting toolkit. We're going to walk through the actual steps you can take, starting with the absolute easiest fix and working our way up from there.
The very first tool you should reach for, and honestly the one that works most of the time, is aimed at those annoying sync errors. It is by far the quickest fix. And the best part? You can do this all by yourself. No need to call IT.
We're talking about the classic turn it off and on again, but the Teams version. We'll call it the cache clear-out. It's just 4 simple steps. 1. Sign completely out of Teams, and I mean really sign out. Don't just close the window. 2. Find the Teams folder on your computer and just delete the cache files inside. 3. Give your machine a full reboot. And 4. Sign back in. That's it. This forces Teams to start fresh, and you'd be surprised how often this one trick does the job.
So what if that doesn't work? Well, if you clear the cache and you're still stuck, that's a huge clue. It probably means the problem isn't with your computer at all, but it's something deeper on the admin side of things. And this is where you'll probably need to get your IT department involved.
Now, you don't have to be an IT expert, but you can go to them with this checklist and sound like you know exactly what you're talking about. Just ask them to check 3 things. First, is the Exchange Online plan actually turned on for your account? Second, can they just double-check your calendar sharing permissions? And third, can they make sure Teams has at least limited details access? This helps them solve your problem way faster.
And if you're still having trouble, well, the problem can get even more technical. We're talking about things like WebView 2, which is just a little component Teams uses to show web content, or even Azure AD, which is how your computer connects to the whole company network. The big takeaway here is simple. If it gets to this point, it's definitely a job for IT.
So, we've gone through all the ways to fix the problem. But what if it keeps happening? Or what if you're just thinking, the regular Teams calendar is a little too basic for me anyway? Well, the source material points to a really interesting alternative.
And that alternative is a third-party app called Virto Calendar. The whole idea is, instead of fighting with the built-in calendar all the time, you can just plug a more powerful, more reliable tool right into Teams.
And when you put them side by side, you can really see the difference. The regular Teams calendar can only see your Exchange calendar. That's it. But an app like Virto can pull in calendars from SharePoint, from Planner, even Google Calendar. It adds things like color coding and lets you overlay your tasks right on top of your schedule. It's basically a major upgrade.
Phew, okay, that was a lot. So let's boil it all down into a nice, simple summary. What are the key things you need to remember from all this?
Here's your game plan, your path to getting this fixed. Step 1. Always start simple. Clear that cache first. It's easy, and it works a surprising amount of the time. Step 2.
If that doesn't do it, then you move on to checking permissions with IT. Step 3, as a general rule, just keep everything updated. Your operating system, Teams, all of it. That prevents a lot of headaches. And finally, step 4, remember that you have other options. If the native calendar is just not cutting it, maybe it's time to look at a more powerful tool.
So I'll just leave you with this one final question to chew on. Is your calendar just a simple schedule, or is it really your team's command center? Answering that might change not only how you fix these little glitches, but how you organize your entire team's work.